I know it's been a really long time since I've done a video and put on Facebook or put on YouTube, and I'm going to do this one and put it on there, but I'm not really going to like put it out like I usually do. I'm just going to put it, the people that are subscribed will see it, and then I was doing videos like every day, and I was working on a podcast and all these different things. There's a lot of backstory to why I was doing that and why I'm not doing that now. Like without getting super in depth into things, the amount of money I used to make got cut substantially over the last couple of years, and then some financial issues and nothing horrible, but made me kind of reevaluate what I was doing with life and with money. Then I got laid off in December, and I started getting online. I had some time at home. I started doing the YouTube page. I started messing with the podcast stuff and loved every minute of it. I really enjoy it. I like to talk to people. I like to make the videos. I like to do the podcast stuff, and had everything ready to launch the YouTube page and launch the podcast, and knew I was going to have to go back to work, but I was going to do those things together. And then I went back to work, and I went right back into the same kind of rut I'd been in before, working a lot, at least a lot of hours, and being away from home a lot, and not, by the time I spent time with my family, not putting any time into anything like writing or the YouTube page or the podcast. Actually, I had no time whatsoever to do it, and struggling to catch up from where I'd been laid off and been behind. And I think I would have just fell back into that rut, and everything would have been fine. There's an issue that is undeniable to me at this point. See, something happened probably November of last year. Something changed. I had lived my entire adult life trying to make as much money as possible, trying to work as many hours as possible, and trying to buy my family as much stuff as possible. And I was not getting to be home with my family, and I was not getting to enjoy life, and I was not getting to create things, and I was not getting to do things that I like to do. Then over a year back, the previous December, from before I got laid off, I finally sat down, finished my book, got it published, then come back and wrote another book with my son, and then recently this past year wrote another children's book, and that kind of opened this gate up to, well, there's other things I can do. I don't have to do it for a living. It doesn't have to make me money, but I enjoyed this, and I wanted to do it, and I pursued it, and I accomplished it. I got to start speaking to a bunch of people, and to classrooms and stuff like that, and I seen that there was a possibility to do some things that I really wanted to do, to interact with people and things like that. But it kind of settled back down, and I went back into the rut of working a full-time job and pursuing things that I didn't want to pursue, but I had to pursue. I had to make enough money to make it, and our level of making it had grown substantially above what a minimal amount of work would suffice. I had to do more to keep up the life that my family was used to, that I was used to. And after the book and falling back into that rut, I don't think I ever went completely back into it. I don't think I ever completely got sucked back in, because there was something. There was something not allowing me to just fully commit back to that rut. I was in it, but not completely. And then, like I said, probably around November, something happened. I found a way to turn off a switch, to change something mentally to where I don't really want or need anything. I don't really want or need to be important at a position at a company, or to be the top guy, or to be the boss, or to make a substantial amount of money. I just want to live life. I want to see places, I want to travel, and I want to live life. Those issues are compounded by the fact that you need to financially support those endeavors, but you don't have to support them to the level that I was supporting them. You don't have to spend and live to the level that I was spending and living at. Sorry, very little sleep last night, and then a fire, belonged to a volunteer fire department. We had a fire call at 6 o'clock this morning, and it's been a long day. But, like I said, I turned off this switch, and it changed the way I looked at things and how I thought about things. And you have to be fair about things in a relationship. It's not just me. It's me, my wife, my 20-year-old daughter, and my 8-year-old son. So I can't just abruptly change everyone's lifestyle because I've decided I'm going to go live like a hobo on the road. That's not going to work. That's not what I mean. The ability to not be satisfied, because I wasn't satisfied after a while. At first I was satisfied, working my way up a ladder, making an increasing amount of money, and having things. We had 3 new cars, we had a new home, all those things. But I got to where not only could I not be satisfied with that, but I don't think I could force myself to do it. Then I got a different job in a different field that didn't pay as much. The hours were bad. They were real bad. But I enjoyed the environment, the people, and the work. But the hours were bad. And now I sit here, the opportunity to go do something with better hours, less time, and more time to invest in things like this. I can't flip that switch back on to put my nose down and grind out life, because that's what I was doing. Laser focused, head down, grind, and that's what I was doing. And like I said, I don't think anybody's satisfied with it, but I didn't have a way out of it. I didn't have the will to change things. I was afraid to change things, and I didn't want to rock the boat in any way, shape, or form. The problem is, when I turned that off, however that got turned off, now I couldn't turn it back on if I wanted to. Now, how many days I can have off to do things I've never done, and spend time with my family, to play with my son, to talk to my daughter, to spend time with my wife, those things far outweigh anything. And there's been financial repercussions to that. There's no sense in trying to keep things private and keep that separate from this, if the idea of doing these videos is to be honest and to talk to people and try to stir up conversations where people message back, or people talk back, or comment back, or I can get people together for a group video and discuss things. If I want to do those things, and that's what my desire to do eventually with this page is, and with the podcast, then I have to be completely honest. And to be completely honest, I have to share everything. Getting to the point I'm at now was 3 things in unison. 1, living a dream and writing a book, and even though it had no real success, it's not this huge bestseller or anything, but it was a dream to have wrote that book, and I did it. That was step one. That just kind of did something. Step two was flipping the switch, whatever this was, it made me go reprioritize, because what you're putting value on has no value. That really expedited the process of, okay, something's changing. But one of the biggest things that facilitated me just finally going, man, screw it, I'm going to do something different and try something different, was getting laid off work. But years of pay decreases and less hours, and then eventually getting laid off, led to a lot of financial struggles. You know, a year and a half ago, myself, my wife, and my daughter had practically brand new vehicles. We have a 4-year-old house. We had a timeshare. We vacationed, you know, those weekend vacations. I can get a couple of days off work here and there. I didn't take a full week vacation at the job I got laid off from. I worked in the capacity of an inspector there for 7 years, and in 7 years, I took 2 one-week vacations. So my timeshare was basically a waste. But we financially, we'd had all these things, and as we made less and less money, our ability to pay for those things lessened and lessened. And we no longer have 3 new cars. We're going to be getting rid of our house and moving out of our house. Downsizing, bankruptcy's an option. Financially, we're not in the best place we've ever been in. And that's put a lot of stress on my wife and my daughter. And me because of them. But because I feel better about how I look at life, those financial woes haven't affected me like they would have in the past. So I had some bad hit at once, but maybe they're good. And I looked at them as such, and I approached them in that manner that they were good. And I can't live 70 hours a week working. I can't live not seeing 90% of the country I live in. I can't live not experiencing not expensive things, but special things in life. And it's a constant struggle to find balance. And it's easy to sit and say, either I want these things. These things have a value to me. These homes, these cars, these things have value to me, and I want them. And so I'm willing to trade chunks of time for chunks of things. And there's nothing wrong. If that's what you want, then it's what you want. It's also just as easy to come back and say, I don't want these things. I want these experiences. I want these relationships. I want these adventures. I want this time. Keep the money. I want this time. That's easy to say. Both of those statements, no matter how polar opposite, are just as equally easy to say. And in all honesty, probably just as equally easy to do. The difference is programming myself to be able to approach what I really want to do, which is the time, the experiences, and the relationships, and to deprioritize the money, the things, and the jobs. And that was really hard to do. I struggled with it back and forth for years. Then, like I said, it was almost like flipping a light switch. And it changed. And my priorities changed. My thought process changed. I was happier. Much happier. And then I fell back into the rut because I felt like it was a necessity. And we've struggled. We've had hard times. We've been in bad spots financially. We are in a bad spot financially. The difference is I'm not looking at it and going, I need to panic and just focus on financial gain. I'm like, we're going to ride this out and it's going to be okay, but we're going to spend more time together. We're going to get to be together. And so that 3 months that I was laid off and having some kidney issues worked out, I was happier and more relaxed, more calm, and more appreciative of things, and it helped me focus, and it helped me get to where I wanted to be mentally. And then, not even on purpose, I just took a job and fell back into a rut. And that's changing. It's changing tomorrow. A lot of things are changing. I don't know that I'll be able to keep up this new approach, but I think it will make me happier. I think it'll make me a better father, a better husband, a better person. I think it'll make me more fulfilled. I spent a good chunk of my life reminiscing about the past, and we're all guilty of that. And then I spent another really good chunk of my life looking to what I was going to do later. And all the time and energy I was putting on those two aspects that are unattainable, the past and the future. In the present, I was sitting and wasting the present, remembering the past and focusing on the future. And I wasn't doing a whole lot of the present. And that's got to change for me to be happy, for me to do things. So we'll see what happens. If I'm posting more videos and there's videos up, I get the podcast up and running, and those things are working, and I'm home with my family more, and we change the way we live, because there's not 3 new vehicles in my driveway anymore. There's no timeshare vacation home anymore. There's no going to hibachi and this every time you turn around anymore. Things have changed. By necessity, not by design, but I would like for it to be by design. And if I could ever produce the income that I made before doing something I love, then I would be fine with that income. But that income still, even if it comes from something I love, it can't outweigh what I want. And what I want is simpler. And I don't have to let income get in the way of that. The biggest thing, though, is I see a lot of people talking about things like this and having that awakening or that aha moment, and they feel like everyone has to do it. Everyone doesn't have to do it. I talk to people every day, on a pretty consecutive basis, that I know well, that would not be happy with what I would like to someday accomplish and do, and the way I would prefer to live, especially, the way I would like to approach finances and future endeavors, and just let them be that tomorrow's thing, and worry about focusing on today and not have as many things. Some people are much happier with things. People have a hard time accepting that or understanding that. Some people are much happier with things. It's just how they are. I don't want this to be like a half-hour video of me ranting and raving. So if you like the video and you like the YouTube channel, like it, please comment, subscribe. But you're only going to see this if you're subscribed. But if you know somebody that I'm not going to send 5 million pictures out on Instagram. I don't have an Instagram. I don't have the other one. I don't have, I have a Facebook. But right now I'm not focusing on the Facebook. If you know somebody that you think maybe this would interest them, or that what I'm doing down the road, if it works, will interest them, send them a link. Have them like, subscribe, and share. But if I'm going to build subscribers and I'm going to build this page up, I want to know what I'm doing and do it consecutively. But in the meantime, if it builds and it grows, it's going to do so on its own, organically. I'm not going to push it. And nobody may not watch these videos. This may be me talking to myself for the benefit of no other person. But it's like a therapy session. It's worth it. If that's what it ends up being, that's what it ends up being. I don't need it to really be anything more. It's me trying to improve me in my life. And hopefully somebody else sees it and puts in some input and goes, well, I've tried this and I've done that, or I feel this way about it. And it opens dialogue and it opens constructive discussion. Or it doesn't. But thank you. And please like, subscribe, share. And the books are still available on Amazon, and they're all on sale, I believe, for around $6. So check them out if you want to.